So yeah guys, this is getting a complete new rescape. First thing I need to do is get all the plants out. If I'm going to rescape this tank, I'm going to keep the mature water, I'm going to keep the fish. Obviously these fish are all going into the new rescape. What do I need to do with the fish? There's a temporary solution for that, and that is I'm going to store them in my old mini FlexiM. This is a 16-litre aquarium with the same filter. I'll chuck the plants in as well so they feel safe, and hopefully they'll be okay. I'm sure they will be. Right, let's get on and get the plants out, shall we? Okay, so all the plants have come out, well, most of them, and so have the fish. So where are the fish? Well, they are here in this mini FlexiM. So all I'm going to do is kind of give them a 50% water change, put this tank on that base, pop the filter back on, and leave the fish in here. Okay, so the fish are in, just chucked in some of the Java fern, some crypts and some of the salvinia. We will leave them in there overnight. Meanwhile, tomorrow I'll try and scape the tank. So today I'm going to be using these rocks to do the hardscape. So these rocks have been locally sourced, and prior to me getting these rocks I did seek authorization from my local council, and it was fine. So yeah, it's going to be a riverbed style scape. So why don't I now empty this tank out completely, clean it up and get it ready for scaping. Alright, the tank is all cleaned. It didn't take me really long. You know, you saw me scoop out all the previous aqua soil, scrubbed it down, got it looking quite clean. Let's just have a look at this new blank canvas that we've got. Okay, so there it is, a nice clean tank. You can see I'm starting to get prepared to scape this thing. I've got the materials that I need here. So there are the sandstones and soil. Here are the hardscape rocks that I showed previously. ADA 60p, looking good, getting really good growth on that. I've done an update on that in the previous video. The fish that are going to go in this tank, and some of the plants are in there. They are doing absolutely fantastic. Okay, so let's talk about this Hugo Kimishi tank. They do a range of sizes. And yeah, I mean, for a startup tank, it's absolutely brilliant. It's quite cheap. It's not Opti-White, it's float glass. It has the black kind of silicone work on there, which is quite thick. But guess what? So do some of the other tanks that are coming out now on the range. I mean, the Awaze tanks, they're not. They're all float glass with black rims. The only difference is that the Awaze have a lid and a light. This is open top. So it's kind of like a halfway house between having a startup aquascaping tank because of that kind of open topness to it. So dimensions, it is 45 centimeters width, 30 centimeters height, 30 centimeters depth. So actually a really nice footprint for practicing aquascaping. Price wise, just for the tank, it was about £25, which is You know what, it's really cheap, actually, really cheap to get into planted aquariums, or even if you're keeping like little breeding tanks and stuff, really cheap. I mean, you could put in a sponge filter, etc., whatever you want with it. All sorts of opportunities with these tanks. Let me get this back on the tripod, zoomed in, step-by-step tutorial of this river style aquascape. Okay guys, so it's nearly Christmas, and basically since it's Christmas, I'm going to be scaping this tank for my daughter. Hopefully she absolutely loves fish. She loves going to the aquarium store. We go to quite a few here in the northeast. Some of them have some big arowanas and some beautiful freshwater stingrays. She absolutely loves it. So this scape is going to be for her. She's going to be kind of feeding the fish every now and then, maybe even get to feed the plants as well, and just try and get her into, you know, the importance of plants, nature, and yeah, not being too urbanized. She's only 27 months old, but honestly, she's quite far ahead for her age, if not to be biased, but that's what we've been told. And you know, her speech is coming on, her understanding's coming on really well. And yeah, this is just my kind of little personal kind of gift to her. So anyway, less of that. Let's get on with scaping this tank. Okay, so I've got some Pennac P and some Pennac W here. You probably can't see that because of the light, but yeah, some Pennac P, Pennac W, and honestly the only reason I'm using this is I've got it, I might as well just use it up. So you've probably seen me use this in previous scapes. It comes supplied with a spoon. I don't know if they even actually sell this anymore. So directions for this is on the box, and it says 3 level spoons for a 60 centimeter aquarium. 3 level spoons. Well, this is like a 45 centimeter, so you know what, I'll just go for 2. And I'm only planting in the back, so in it goes at the back, not totally like right up against the glass, just blinker it like so. Planted area will be around here. If there's some spilling where you're not planting, it's no problem because you're going to cap that off with some substrate anyway. Put that back, and then we've got the Pennac W. If you want to look up what these things are, just kind of Google them. Hopefully one day I will do a video on explaining what all of these materials do. But from the best of my knowledge, they just kind of help prevent an anaerobic substrate. So we'll do 1. As you can see, you don't have to be too careful with this stuff. 2. I think the rocks will be around the center, just off the center there, maybe at the front, and then all of this plants, or maybe further at the back and then the plants. Now, normally I add a bit of tourmaline BC. I've never actually added clear super because the ADA Power Sand Special that I use normally has a blend of clear super in there and a bit of back to 100 as well, actually. So I will be using that instead, but I don't have tourmaline BC, which is basically charcoal. 3 spoons for 2 liters of power sand. Again, I'll just do 2.5. Now I'm going to add 1 spoon to the base, and then I am going to add the Power Sand Special. Now you don't have to use Power Sand Special for the type of plants that I'm using, but again, I've got it, so I might as well use it. So let me just go and grab that. Half a bag of ADA Power Sand Special S. I'll just pour that at the back. Okay, let's get the soil. I need a jug and the soil. The reason why I'm using a jug, I think in a big scape, just use the bag, pour it in. A jug just gives me more control on how much I'm adding, so I just don't add too much soil to the aquarium. So we have the Tropica soil powder type. The reason I'm using the powder type is just smaller grain. This is a relatively small tank. Just gives you that sense of scale. This soil, the Tropica soil, in terms of my experience of using it, absolutely fantastic product in my experience. Not had many problems whatsoever. It is nutrient rich, so you will get a diatom bloom, as with many soils, but overall a great product. I would always still use a base layer substrate. I wouldn't call the soil the base layer substrate. This ADA soil, the ADA power sand is the base layer. That's what I refer to as the base layer, just so that we prevent any anaerobic activity within the substrate system. So let's pour that on. So this is the kind of thickness I'm getting at the back. Okay, just compared to, you know, my fingers, I've got around about 4 fingers worth. I might even add just a little bit more after I've placed the rocks. And this is how much we have on the side. Okay, so time to add the main stone to this kind of riverbed rockscape. And again, golden ratio, rule of thirds, roughly there, roughly there. Okay, so that's where I'm going to place this rock, and I'm actually going to place it at an angle like so, just to keep things interesting. So I'm just going to go ahead and start adding in some of the other rocks and see how we get on with this kind of composition. Okay, time to add some sand. Here I am using today some Colorado sand. There we go, just a view from the top. I don't mind having a bit of algae like this on the rocks, as long as it doesn't get out of control. I'll have a cleanup crew and food for the cleanup crew as well. Hopefully you can see that, you know, the sand has been graded out a lot better. So yeah, kind of beach look for this hardscape, kind of like a riverbed beach look, only because my daughter really loves going to the beach here in the northeast. Right, let's get it misted, let's get it planted. Okay, so I'm ready to start planting. There's the hardscape, here are the plants. Let's just quickly go through what I've got. I've got 2 pots of the of the Cyperus Hill Fairy, 10 pots of the Vallisneria Nana, 2 pots of the Cryptocorini Balenciae, 2 pots of Elantium Tenellum Green, my favourite, 2 pots of Eleocharis Mini. Let's get these plants planted.